I'm Nate WL777, and this is Character Piece. Today we'll be reviewing an anime by the name of Kabarairi of the Iron Fist. This is a love story set in the backdrop of a zombie apocalypse that happens during the Industrial Revolution. A small island country in Japan is overrun by these Kabari. They are zombie-like creatures who force the inhabitants of this land to make shift settlements and then travel back and forth to evade from these zombies by train. So a lot of it takes place on the train and in these little settlements. There is a young engineer named Ikoma, named Ikoma, who is bitten and becomes what's called as the Kabare. And the Kabare is a hybrid of the Kabane, making him a half human being, half zombie. Doesn't really explain why some people are. Most people are bitten, they just become the Kabane. For some reason, some people don't. He ends up meeting up with Mume, who is also a Kabare. She has been a well-established Kabare, and she helps him fight the Kabane. At its core, like I said before, it is a love story, pretty much between those two. Essentially, those two are really the only main characters in the movie. There is in the anime series, there is all kinds of people in it that are very unimportant. At its core, character development was definitely the weakest part of this anime. I rate it very low from the character development side. What I did really like about it, even story-wise, it was a little flat. So take that for what it is. If you believe strong into character development and storyline, this one you might be disappointed watching. You honestly forget any other people that are in it. Even the main characters, for the most part, are pretty flat. They are the most well-developed and fleshed out characters, but really it's just about those two, and anything outside of that two, it's really no reason for them to be there, just to move forward in the story. Very forgettable people. What is nice about this anime is the story, or the world building and the art involved. Even the development of the characters in that sense, the way that they look, I thought that they looked great. And ultimately, I think what drove me to finish watching this, it's 12 episodes, season 1. I don't believe that there's going to be more. I think that's it, just the 12 episodes. But I got very into watching it because of the world building and the anime style. It is a steampunk meets samurai kind of a show, which was pretty interesting. I'm very into the steampunk style, so for me, I thought that played very well. Like I said, the art popped. It was very nice, very nice looking visually, but outside of that, depth of story, even the enemies, the bad guys that are in it, the Kabari themselves really were very annoying. They were just bland, just cookie cutter bad guys, fodder for swords, whatever. Obviously, most people were just getting eaten by them. But yeah, it was very disappointing, that aspect of it. So I had high hopes for this one. It still was worth watching, in my opinion. I think I was a little disappointed. I would have liked it to be a lot better, because visually it definitely looked good. I actually rated this one. Before I get onto the rating, I just wanted to point out this is something that I felt was something I would allow my son to watch. I always like to point that out, whether I think it's good for the something that a child can watch, or whether there's just a whole bunch of adult content, because sometimes you don't know an anime. So if that's something important to you, I didn't feel like there was anything in here that I wouldn't allow my son to watch. It was a little bit gory, a little bit of blood and stuff like that, but obviously he's seen that in other movies, so no sexual content or anything like that. Anyways, really, I rate it at a 7.5, and I rate it as a 7.5 again because, which is very watchable to me. I mean, a 7.5, I definitely got through it. I think under a 7 is probably not watchable to me. So it was, like I said, the art and the story building definitely projected me to the end, and it was that kept me watching. My favorite character in it is Mume, and Mume really is just one of two, as I've mentioned before. She's only one of two characters that you could even pinpoint to have anything to go off of to choose whether they were your favorite character or not. And I liked her better than Ikome, Ikema, and that's it. It wasn't stiff competition. She's very strong-willed, and she's a good fighter, very independent. I usually like that in characters. So she hit on a lot of things that I enjoyed, and again, there wasn't much competition. So ultimately, again, 7.5. And let me know below if you watch this. Let me know what you think of the characters. Let me know who your favorite character was, and discuss it below. Thanks.